Okay, so we are recording. Just to let you all know, this is being recorded strictly for classes that I'm doing through East Texas A&M. But one of the things that I was bringing you together today to talk about is Richardson ISD currently has two national demonstration AVID campuses. They are at Richardson High School and Berkner High School. Mm-hmm. So one of the things the district is looking to do is create also an elementary version of an AVID showcase campus. It is pretty tight competition. They only will approve 10 elementary campuses per region when they are looking for elementary showcase campuses. So, what we are going to do today is to kind of go through what is it that we need to focus on, what professional learning opportunities do we need to put in place, what are the AVID team going to be looking for when they come through to determine if we do have a elementary AVID showcase school. So let's talk about some of the things. Carolyn, I know that you are uh, one of the AVID representatives. So what are some of those like best practice things that we might need to front load in terms of professional learning?
Okay, I think probably focus notes and raising the rigor for questioning. Those are two of the big things. I mean, of course, you have planners and organization and things like that, but in terms of professional development, those are the kinds of things that you can actually use for professional development, as well as being very intentional with AVID strategies and incorporating them in all your lessons.
So when you are thinking through the strategies, and you all jump into, what are some of the ways like that we can tie to Wicker and to encourage the strategies and the depth and the rigor and
Right.
all the key buzzwords? What does that look like in practice?
One thing we're going to do for a little professional development next week is she's going to do a great STEM activity. If you want to talk about that for a minute, and then we can.
Sure. We're going to do STEM, a 5-minute STEM lesson next week, and we're going to focus on how to make your lessons more engaging and then fit in some STEM. And then Carolyn had a great idea.
Yeah, she's going to do it on the guy that invented Velcro. Yep. It was very interesting. And then I'm going to do a 10-2-1 AVID strategy afterwards to show how you can do something really engaging and get the kids really interested in, wow, this guy really invented Velcro, because they're not going to do a lot of reading about it. And then they're going to read a passage, some information about it. They read for 10 minutes and they stop. They take notes and then they turn and then they tell their neighbor 2 important facts that they learned, and then they jot down what their friend said. So it's a 10-2-1 strategy.
Well, I just thought of something. Can they do the AVID sentence stems when they use the other strategies?
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
Okay.
And having those up in the room is probably something they'd want to see too.
I just sent them out for science, but if we have them for the other subjects.
Yeah, I gave them today to 3rd grade for math. Okay. So I'll get them to the other grade levels.
So I heard you talking about having a STEM focus with the Velcro, the inventor of Velcro. What about the career focus? Could we put in some type
I have a little bit of that.
Okay, let me hear about it.
At the end, we have a slide, and it's it actually has a picture or an image of an astronaut, and it shows all the different parts on his suit that have Velcro. Because NASA,
that's cool.
The Velcro was not really widely used until NASA used it in the 60s. And then it kind of took over, and then we came out with Velcro shoes and things like that. So the kids can make not only the career connection, but a real world connection to things that they use. It might be on their backpack and sneakers and things like that.
Okay.
Well, and I know that, Megan, you do a really big career week where you bring in speakers. Right. So I know that's something. And then we also talked as a committee about having some careers in the hallway, and trying to even show the kids how kids that went to Yale Elementary now, what are they doing, and then recording and having a QR code that they can kind of scan that. But your career week is always a real exciting thing, and Avid loves that.
Yeah, it's always just like nice to hear from, different careers and like from the community, just having the students like be able to, just get those real world experiences and just, that information from them. And then the announcements too. I think
Yeah,
just
they do
that
that on announcements.
the announcement focus, getting that exposure as well. So that's something. But yeah, Career Week is always a big hit, and the students really are receptive of that too. So
When is
that's really
is career?
usually in the spring semester.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that would probably be a great time to have our AVID representatives come back through.
Mhm.
I mean, you were talking about a board and having
Mhm.
career focus. What's your vision for that board?
Well, sixth grade doesn't know this. Sorry, but we're going to maybe have them research the people a little bit, maybe interview them. I got an accent all of a sudden because one of them is actually the originator of Tiff's Treats because she went to Yale here, and Tiffany Taylor, and so we're thinking maybe have them interview them, have the person's picture up here, a little information about their company, what schooling they had to go to, what they had to major in, what the path was, and then I'm showing you. Then another one down here is the salary, like what range could you make? She was an entrepreneur, but she went into the baking, and so we could talk about entrepreneurship. But maybe we might even be able to get her in here. Y'all could interview her, and then they can have a QR code that shows the interview and more information about her out in the hall.
I love this idea of an interactive board, especially for students who aren't necessarily thinking, I'm going to go straight into college, because you're talking about the entrepreneurship piece of it. So I'm wondering how we could tie this also to, because secondary also has their CCMR, but we get to contribute to that as an elementary campus. So how are we going to connect the idea of being a high wage earner, high demand, high wage earner, in with what we're doing every day? Is there, how can we build that into like the curriculum when anybody walks through?
Yeah. I know for one, like the guidance lessons, we try to tie that into the lessons here and there, that CCMR focus. There is like again, going back to the career week, there's a career topic focus on things as well. And so just tying those into the guidance lessons in all the grade levels. And yeah, that's one too.
I think part of STEM and making the sticky learning would be adding the careers in. So we can talk to teachers about where can we fit these into some of their lessons, because I think we will have interest once they see it on the board.
Oh yeah.
And they'll want to know more about it, so we can talk about where can this fit, or maybe it fits into ELAR this week better, or maybe it fits into science or math. So depending on what we're doing, we can work with the teachers to kind of coordinate that better.
Okay. Speaking of the working with teachers, and circling back to professional learning opportunities, some of the things that they look for are really using, you mentioned like the notes piece of it, but that organization. So like the planners and organizing by color codes and things like that. What comfort level do you feel like our elementary campuses have?
Well, I know that our pre-K, they do some sort of a color coding. Kids don't know about it, but the teacher does, and so slowly the kids will start to understand. But by kindergarten, they know their color folders, and in sixth grade, they completely know, don't they? And so I think everybody's got a pretty good comfort level with it. The planners, y'all, you talk about how you use your planners in sixth grade.
So we usually use them for important dates, for kind of keeping up with things that are due, for making sure that they know when they are even on the announcements so that we can write their names down.
Yeah,
without
we have to
critically.
know that. And we talked earlier as a committee about bringing planners into like pre-K kindergarten in first grade next year.
Because third through sixth have them now.
Third through sixth has them now, and so pre-K first and pre-K first and second pre-K, okay, we'll see. But kindergarten, they can circle what they can circle the favorite thing they did. It can have math, reading, science things, circle their favorite, and then maybe first grade they can have a sentence starter where they finish the sentence. My favorite thing today was, and then they can write math. And then second grade they can start writing maybe an objective or two in their planner, and that way it prepares them more for an older grades.
So the conversation of engagement has been kind of sprinkled through this whole conversation. What are, in your experience, some of the specific rigor, engagement, experience type of things that you feel like we'll need to provide for staff so that they're able to, again, have that comfort level and leading us to that showcase elementary that we're looking for?
So professional learning, do you think that it'd be more beneficial to do like mini lessons throughout the year?
Yeah.
As opposed to like one big one?
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll forget maybe?
Maybe doing them during PLC time.
So some ideas for that, what would, I think planners, like how to use the planners or how to better use the planners would be good. What else can we think about?
Maybe even, because organization is such a big thing, because when they walk in a room, they want to see everything have its place, and they don't want to see things on the floor. They don't want to see things on your tables. They really want to see a nice, clean room. Maybe invite people into your room to come in with like a new eye and look around the room and go, oh, I never thought I could put this over here, or I could put this over here. So maybe do something like that.
You had talked about that for students, like that student to student engagement. So I love the idea of having that be an adult type of thing too, that we're incorporating that same strategy. Because if we're doing it and feeling it, then it's going to be easier to.
I show the kids my
incorporate it.
planner. I literally show them that I use it, and they get a kick out of it because they think that adults don't use it, but we do.
See, that's modeling.
Modeling.
Right.
Yeah.
What else? As a coach, I think, and we're talking about increasing the rigor of questions. Do we need a PD on how to increase the rigor of your
That's
questions?
a good idea. Because sometimes people might think they are.
Yeah.
And we could give them, definitely we could talk about how to raise that.
Do you think that would be a good thing to add to extended planning for next week?
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
As we're working with teachers.
Maybe they can look and see what unit they have coming up. And then we could say, okay, so what are some questions that you could embed in here, and they could already have them written out.
Okay,
like
I'm
that.
gonna make a note so I remember to go back and do that.
Some pre-planning questions. I love that for extended planning, because then you actually have the time to sit and think through what those questions are going to be and what the misconceptions could potentially be. I also know that one of the things that we as a district have been focusing on is the extension and enrichment piece for our students. And so I feel like that really naturally meshes with the AVID strategies. But can you kind of walk through like what depth and complexity looks like specific to AVID, and how we can baby step out that piece of it for staff to be like, oh, we've been doing this depth and complexity, so it's just a natural progression to the AVID piece. How are we going to connect those for people?
For DOK, what would you do? Because we know blooms, right? I think teachers are familiar with that, and looking at the verbs. But I think, what else can we do?
I really just think practicing the questioning and making sure that they answer in complete sentences, the kids answer in complete sentences, that they are asking higher level questions too, like maybe having them even reword their question, to think more outside of the box.
So when we're looking at rewording questions, like I'm thinking through like that like organizational piece and the note taking, and then flipping that around and presenting it. What's the tie? How are we stringing this together so that staff understand that these are the things that lead to the depth and rigor and complexity and extension and all the good things. But it's also just good practice. How are we making sure that it's super clear that we're connecting all the pieces? That's my only question really at this point, because I want to make sure that it's not only clear to us, like, oh, we're doing AVID stuff. Come see us. We're a showcase district for AVID. But what does it mean for staff and students?
Well, I think for the staff, don't they always want to do what's best for the kids, and so best practices kind of lends itself to all of these things, and then tying it in with careers, you have to do these things in order to be a plumber or to be the head of a corporation or to be a teacher.
You know what, maybe when they're doing their interviews for AVID, part of that training for the students too would be how to write good interview questions.
Ooh, that's good.
Because I think, we can't just say, what did you do? I think we need to have them be more specific.
That's a good idea.
And have maybe an example, or like maybe learn what a leading question is.
Yep. That's a good idea. Ooh, it'd be fun if we could get somebody to come in who interviews people, like I know no one can come from the news or something, but I mean somebody that's like a reporter. Ooh, there is
like mock interviews.
A
recruiter.
Yeah, a recruiter. And there is a parent at Canyon Creek who is a news reporter. So that'd be pretty interesting to get her to come in and meet with the kids and talk about how she does an interview.
I think once the kids realize that we're expecting high level questions and answers from them, and I think they realize how important it is. So I think they will start looking at how we teach a little bit differently, which I love, because then they will think, all right, how can we make this harder? Or how can I make it more specific?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think from the perspective of because I've got the 6th graders who are at the top of the school, they are already thinking about these magnet applications. They're thinking about what's going on in 7th grade and beyond, and making sure that in every action and every lesson, we're tying it back to why is this important for you as you are going through your secondary career? Why is this important for you as you're going post-secondary? And for them, I mean, knowing how to answer questions, knowing how to ask questions. That's going to be important for everything. Going back to this idea of this whole, I'm thinking, I'm already getting things in my brain about interviewing, and just if they know what is expected of them, that's going to help them later on as they're looking further into what is my basis, what did I learn in elementary school that's going to take me further and farther into the future.
That's really good. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of great ideas on the table to connect our best practices to depth and complexity to AVID. So next time when we come together, what we can do is pull a rubric from AVID to see what that looks like, specific questions that they ask when we're applying for that showcase campus, and start putting the pieces together as a district and determining the campuses that we really want to focus on and deploy all of your knowledge to those campuses in terms of professional learning. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.